How's that? Okay, am I talking? Yeah, there we go. I'm so sorry, guys. Not Harsh. How's it going, guys? Harsh, sorry you can't stay, buddy. Okay, does anyone not... Are you from the States by chance? Fuck. Okay, I'm thinking PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App. Like, there's one more. I'm sure they have, like, another cash thing. Yes, bye, Harsh. No clue. Fuck. Fuck. Viking helmet. Brass band. You're a Bronco, Trooper, a Forerunner, no, Rhino. Fuck. A devil. Damn it. Fucking crunch. Oh, I lost all of them. I have nothing left. Except Spider-Man. Fuck. What is it? What is it? What is it? Parts of a workout routine. Things with horns. Payment. Ah, okay. See, there was one. I don't know what I don't know what stripe? Strippers? I don't know. Fuck. Oh, I knew that. I didn't know this one. I didn't know what this one was. Fucking Sag. Listen, I saw it. I saw it off rip, okay? What the fuck is this, bro? 2's too big. So I gotta do like, no, that's way too much. I gotta do like here. Let's go. I totally thought I fucked that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I saw the line. Sharon. Close to sequence 4. Higher. Zara tool. Male 4th epoch. Wait, what the oh my god. What is the fucking guy in in Leonard's name? Fucking, oh my god, y'all are gonna crucify me for this, but I can't remember. Fuck is his name? The bummiest of the angels. Until recently, he's kind of been goated recently, I'm not gonna lie. Palaz. Error, 4th epoch, male. What? A male of the error pathway? Who even exists? Sequence 5, male of the error pathway. Who would that be? Error. Zoro Mobet? Ah, got it. Let's go, baby. Let's go. XS. Good call, man. Guy in book? Not. Good call, man. Mobet. Wouldn't have even thought of that. The only reason I went for Mobet was I just thought, like, it's gotta be someone of the Zoroaster family. So I was like, so I took a guess. I didn't get there the same way you guys got there, but we got there in the end, okay? As long as everyone sends out as much light as the heat inside them, it may bring some hope. Klein, statistically, he gives it. Listen, good thing is, statistically, Klein has like 50% of the lines in the book, so always start with Klein, because it's you'll never get better odds with one guy. Is Wiz a football fan? Not particularly. I used to watch it when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I have learned that it's all boring. And yeah, that's about the extent of it. Then he goes here, and then I just take everything out. Oh. Wallflower, what club do you like? What do you got? The one played with legs is boring. Oh, Wallflower, am I crazy to assume that you're referring to soccer when you say football? I don't know where you're from, but I thought it was, I didn't peg you for American. Did you mean American football? Because the answer is definitely no then. I've never watched anything about that. I know nothing about it, honestly. No. Soccer's not boring by any stretch of the imagination. Not. I like soccer. Like, I'm gonna watch the World Cup, you know. But I just don't have that much time for it as I get older. You know, it's sad. I think this year had the most pre-World Cup drama. What happened this year? What do you mean? I haven't been as up to date with FIFA as I normally would be, so you're gonna have to. What happened? US being the US? Trump being Trump? Why? It's not, I didn't know that anything had happened. Where do I go? Where do I go? Because obviously, if I take heat takes, I get cooked. I take heat takes. I just take his queen, obviously. Idiot. They didn't let a Somalian ref in. Fan visas getting rejected. Oh, that. Okay. I knew about the really expensive ticket prices. I didn't know about the ref and fan visas getting rejected, but with the benevolent president we have in office at the moment, it's not particularly surprising. Before anyone sasses me, I'm obviously fucking joking. Can't go here because of this. Well, here. Oh, idiot. Here he takes. Okay, this one's rough. This one's rough. Can't go back here. Here. Gotta go be back in 20. Sounds good. Here, mate. No, so I have to give a check or I'm fucked. Here. Dude, 21 with no misses? This is the highest I've ever gotten. Here, here. Here, here, here. I was laughing. Oh, but then he'd always be ahead of the pawn, so I could never promote because he could hide out in the corner and stalemate. Fuck. Okay. It's okay. I see the line. I see the line. Here. Here. Here, here, here. I'm fine. I go here. He takes. I take. Here, here. No. Here has to take. He's fucked because this can't be avoided. This is a strat. Do I toss this movement or is that too slow? Fuck, 23 is really good though. 23 is really good. I'll take that. You know what? I'm not crying about it. Man, maybe I should quit streaming. Who knows? Maybe videos is better than this. I don't know. See here, I'm good, buddy. How you doing? You distracted me. Here, here, here. Fantastic. I was gonna do the last mission of the Bond mission, Bond game, but last mission? Bro, how much you been playing, motherfucker? Goddamn. Probably my game of the year? You know what's coming this year, right? What? Oh, this guy's beating my ass. castling is not the way. The fucking... It's not a very long game. Damn, I lost. Damn, dude, can he get it in 3 seconds? Are we tied? Let's go! What? Coward. Yeah, dude, what? He wins because he had less failures? Fuck this guy. Cringe shit. I honestly didn't know it worked like that. GTA is coming this year, but I don't really care for... How do you not care for You're lying. Everyone cares for GTA. GTA is the best. I don't know why that keeps happening to me. I don't want to talk about it. Whatever, it's fine. Bro, how do you not care for GTA? That's crazy. Probably insulted my ass and I didn't even know. Dude, you got so lucky. The amount of insults I threw at you that you didn't get. Oh my god. Genuinely, I'm gonna fucking let that go because I feel like that was divine intervention saving your ass. So I'm gonna let that go. But god damn. I ripped you to shreds. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I do not know where the next stopping point is. I am not even gonna pretend to. Honestly, I'm not even gonna pretend to give a fuck either. I will stop where I damn well want to. If y'all want to cry about it, oh well, yeah, this isn't the optimal. Fuck your optimal, bro. I do what I want. What is interesting about GTA's story-wise? Bro, the story of GTA 5 was so good. I don't know the story of 6, obviously, because I haven't played. The story of 4, from what I heard, was decent too. Honestly, I played 4, but I was a kid, so I don't remember much of the story. I remember playing it, but I don't remember the story much. Because, you know, as a kid, you're not paying much attention to the story. You're just like, hee, I'm running people over. My cool car. Fuck yeah. For a moment, LEMMiNO's... Do you know one of the earliest recorded memories my parents have of me is me on my fucking, our like home computer when I was like 4 years old playing like GTA 3 or so, I don't know, fucking whatever GTA was out at the time. And I'm like running people over, and as I'm running people over, I'm going, that's bad, you shouldn't do that. It's such a cute video because I'm like running people over. It's like, that's a bad thing. You shouldn't do that. And my parents shouldn't have let me play that game as a kid, bro. For a moment, LEMMiNO's unsure whether the authority holders under the table Okay, sorry. Okay, kind of side tangent, but it's just like you and me here. I don't even think there's anyone else today. I don't think anyone else is coming either. We're laughing. I remember like a decade ago, something like this, when GTA 5, I used to play GTA 5 all the time, and we used to have this fucking neighbor's kid, and they didn't have a place. Well, like we were close with our neighbors because my parents are always like, you know, they're always super nice to the neighbors, so like whatever. So the neighbor's kid, who was like fucking 7 years old, he'd come over and he'd be like, hey, can I play on your PlayStation? I'd be like, motherfucker, I just got home from school, I want to play on my fucking PlayStation, fucking dickhead. God, I hated that kid. So he would always play, and then I'd because I was a little shit. Okay, listen, realistically, he's a fucking kid. I should have just let him play. True, okay, but I was like 12 at the time, so fuck him. And so like I would go to the mom, to like the kid's mom. I'd be like, you know, it's a pretty bad game. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's probably not let your kid play. And like he'd stare at me like, kid, you shouldn't be playing. And I was like, you're probably right. Damn it! Don't tell my mom. She had me beat. In all fairness. Ah, God, what a piece of shit I was. For a moment, LEMMiNO was unsure whether the authority under the table transaction... No, wait, I've already read this. What? I'm laughing. I've read 770. 771, A Pale White Nation is where we're at. Lies. I barely played 4 or 5. I played 4 a bit, not too much when I was a kid, but I played it a bit. But I honestly don't remember shit about. I remember Nico, and I remember thinking this guy's kind of cool. And then I don't remember anything beyond that story-wise. Amidst the heavy, tearing sound of a long, unmoved wooden board, the chestnut-brown door slowly opened. The first thing LEMMiNO saw was a dim light, unlike the darkness typical of the deeper parts of the underworld, emanating from a not golden humanoid street lamp, but from all objects ahead. You got a clear view. There lay a cluster of palaces half sunken into the void, with a majestic hall. Deeper into the palace complex, the structure seemed to sink further into the void, while those on the periphery stood solidly on the wilderness. Even so, the main hall and the core area towered much higher than the rest of the buildings. Now, most of the structures were completely collapsed, leaving only ruins and broken walls. The relatively intact palaces and towers were concentrated on the periphery, with only visibly towering structures in the core area being the main hall and its attached spires. At this moment, whether it was the broken palace or the surrounding wilderness and the sky above, all had faded to a dim pale light, enveloping and infusing with the entire world. They brought light. This pale white world retained a few other colors of gold and embedded on the surface and buildings and the black at the bottom of the palace complex. The latter had 2 other sources. One was the silently falling illusory dark river Styx from above, cascading down from the main hall. The other was a creature long enough to be described in hundreds of meters, nestled amongst the spires. It was an exaggeratedly large bird, its wings woven from the pale white flames and mystical patterns. To Vanitas? Oh, sorry. Okay, thanks, Kami. I also remember when GTA 5 was released, I was like 14, I was in the strip club. Dude, in the living room is crazy. In the living room is the craziest part of that. I was in the strip club in the living room. Bro, that might be illegal. What do you mean? Oh. Despite the considerable distance, even with just a few fleeting glances, LEMMiNO couldn't help but feel his death accelerating. Out and in the strip club like I was playing FNAF, bro. He lowered his head to look at his hands and found his already pale, dull, withered, undead skin now marked with patches of blue and black. The marks slowly spread. Moreover, his clothes were beginning to be infected by the pallor of the world, turning dim. What kind of monster is that? LEMMiNO dared not gaze at the distant bird anymore. It may be the corpse of Gregreus. Gregreus? Why would she be here? After posing this, LEMMiNO felt the question was kind of meaningless. This was the underworld, and it was not strange for any deceased body to be here. The once ancient death had perished before the underworld anomaly. On the other hand, the absence of the Eggers family death corpse was an anomaly. LEMMiNO didn't expect Merrick to actually answer. It may be the ancestor of the Eggers family, the former death, placed it here. Does that mean the death of the Eggers family not only acquired the characteristic of Gregreus, but also brought her body back to the underworld? Yeah, probably. He was trying to make another fucking pathway. Or like another sequence bunch or whatever. Hiding it somewhere in the palace complex? How did it end up there though? Is it just a corpse? Was it placed there intentionally? Or did the anomaly in the underworld turn this upside down? LEMMiNO had a sudden thought. At that moment, he heard. Sharon just saw the egg, Merrick added. The egg? The one the demon is looking for? Is Sharon referring to the demigod within me? Where's the egg? Below the belly of what seems to be the corpse of Gregreus, it seems to be a pitch-black shell and is engulfed in pale white flames, about 1 meter in diameter. Protected by the corpse of the ancient death? How the fuck do I get that? I may as well be tasked to slain Farbauti. Of course, for those not of high stature, a living ancient god and the characteristic lacking one reduced to a decaying corpse were they not on the same level. The difficulty of these tasks were as different as heaven and the abyss. For Lumion, they were equally insurmountable. Son of a bitch, that fella really is a demon. Fine, if it can't be completed, then so be it. As the malicious thought spread through his body, Merrick added, "It is not impossible. The state of Gregarious' corpse is somewhat strange." Strange? Aren't there only two states for a corpse? Rest or reanimation? What's strange about it? LEMMiNO asked. It is asleep. The kind of deep sleep that is difficult to awaken from. This doesn't align with the current state of the Pale White Nation. Asleep? Why does this not align with the current state here? From what we have seen, one of the reasons of the original anomaly in the underworld was the reanimation of Gregarious. It destroyed Death's palace, killed all of the blessed, and turned his palace into a Pale White Nation. We encountered a few demigods of the Death faction, and since the underworld anomaly, they could still manage some affairs in the underworld, and even enter directly. You already know this volume name? No, Kami took it from me. But none dared to venture deep in the underworld to search for the treasures within the Death Palace. Their instincts told them it was far too dangerous. But Sharon didn't have a premonition for danger, so she agreed to come. That means for a long time after the underworld anomaly, Gregarious still roamed this nation, keeping the high-ranked beings of death at bay, but now it lays asleep. When was the last time a high-ranking Beyond of the Death Pathway felt danger approaching here? I don't know, Merrick answered. Don't know. Then it seems Gregarious has only fallen asleep recently, or the high-ranking Beyonders of the Death Pathway would have discovered that it's not so dangerous here anymore. Why did the death of the Eggers family bring back Gregarious' corpse, leaving such a huge risk? The underworld was established by the ancient death in the spirit world, and as an ancient god, it wasn't limited to the powers of the Death Pathway. It may not have been easy for the Eggers family death to initially take control of the underworld. He may have needed the corpse of the ancestor. By the time he truly took control, his state may have changed, no longer concerned with such trivial things. Does that mean the Eggers family death went mad? The underworld wasn't naturally formed, it was created? Such a powerful god. The Knight of Swords, sensing this, simply said, "It is said that even amongst the ancient mad gods, Gregarious was particularly fond of stirring things, much like Alista Tudor of the Fourth Epoch." Well, talking about that. Now that you put it that way, I understand. Lumen's gaze shifted amongst the pale sky in the wilderness and the collapsed palace. Suddenly, he spotted a figure still capable of movement. The creature's limbs were bent, its nails flickered with cold light, its back sporting wings. Oxyto's premature child? It is here, Lumen recognized the creature. This was the target they had been tracking. At that moment, Oxyto's child was flapping its wings, circling continuously and stealthily drawing closer to the corpse of Gregarious. We must stop it. Sharon will handle cursing and controlling it. We must take care of the attack. Join room now? Okay, sounds good, Kami. Dude, Dara's close, eh? She should probably be finished. She said she'll be done Lord of the Mysteries within a month. That's kind of nutsy, though. Yo. A month is... That's nuts. By the time she gets done, next party for special episode, fuck yeah, we can do that. Okay, I don't know if the timing of this will, if we can get this to work, but maybe we can do like me, Dara, and Easy. If we can do the watch party with all three, that'd be so cool. We could get like everyone in there. I don't know if those timings will work, but no, Easy will probably want to do a video on it anyway. Never mind, it's fine. This time Lumen didn't hesitate, and sprinted out from the base of the cathedral. As soon as he stepped into the nation, his entire body was pale white. Yeah, Seer, I just mean like in Discord, me, Dara, Easy, and then obviously all of you guys too, of course. I don't know if that'll work though, because Easy will probably want to make a video on it. I don't know, I'll ask him. This caused him to shiver, both body and soul, wanting nothing more than to kneel on the ground. Silently, Lumen drew the Sword of Courage. This blade now ignited with flames tinged with blue. Filled with the courage to battle against the heavens and strike at the gods, Lumin stood straight and tall, unflinchingly facing the palace. His eyelids then dropped uncontrollably, shielding his eyes. Simultaneously, Merrick spoke. Our target is Oxyto's child, not Gurgrace's corpse. This was to prevent from Lumion looking directly at the wilderness, at the corpse of the ancient death. There was nothing to fear, Lumion responded. His voice, once it left its mouth, also infected by the pallor of this world, became weak and hollow. Merrick advised, but this will affect our battle with Oxyto's child. We must resolve it quickly. Once that is done, do what you will. Okay, Lumion responded. Honestly, wearing the Eggers family mask and in this undead state, Lumion felt a bloodline-based fear and an awe towards Gurgrace's corpse. Otherwise, Lumion wielding that sort of courage would not have been so agreeable. Immediately, Lumion ignited into a bright white flame, transforming into a long spear of light, hurtling towards the buildings. As the spear cut through the sky, it too was eroded by the pallor, dissipating and dimming even faster, meaning Lumion only managed half the intended distance. Finally, the light extinguished and Lumion appeared in midair, plummeting. He landed softly in the wilderness, making only a slight sound. The flames took to the air, the spear took to the air yet again. Repeating this 5 times, Lumion finally reached the high tower, adorned with numerous golden patterns, and with the figure of Oxyto's child becoming clearer. Although the other did not display the potential incomplete mythical creature form, merely seeing the beast's half-bent limbs and a head formed from several mangled infant heads, and wings stretching from the torso on the pale white, Lumion felt dizzy. Additionally, it was something inside him that seemed to be calling. Dude, I will say it, they're kind of cutting it close though. Because in my guess, Lumion's gonna become a great old one. You're telling me this motherfucker's gonna become a demigod, become an angel, become a god, become a great old one in 400 chapters. Bro, every 100 chapters, this guy's gotta do some crazy fucked up shit to have a chance. Bro, he's gotta complete one of those each 100 chapters. Oh, that's not looking good, boys, for my guess. Dude, I think this is even faster than Klein. Because 400 chapters for Klein was like chapter 1000. Klein was already what? A sequence 3 by then? Like on the cusp of Angel to on the cusp of Angel to Great Old One to fucking mid-sequencer to Great Old One's a big jump, bro. Additionally, something inside him seemed to be calling. It was the bloodline of Amibella. Lumion felt no fear from this. This was inevitable. In an instant, 2 figures materialized beside him. One wearing a black gothic court dress, complete with a matching petite bonnet. The other, slightly disheveled, donned a traditional black vest over white shirt. The Knight of Swords, Minor Arcana, Merrick. As they approached their primary target, they finally detached from Lumion's body, ready to head to battle. Indeed, both Sharon and Merrick bore colors derived from the impressions left by Lumion, not truly manifested, appearing pale white and dim. Moreover, their bodies were transparent and ghostly, in a state of wraiths. The monstrous child, hovering close to the belly of Gurgrace's corpse, sensed the proximity to Lumion. From a distance of 2 or 3 kilometers, it looked over. Lumion immediately felt the protective essence of his mind and consciousness shielded by the mask, showing signs of disintegration. In his eyes, the demigod named Sharon, using the reflective mirror effect of the pure golden surface, flickered twice between the crumbling palace and the high tower, coming within 200 or 300 meters of Gurgrace's corpse. She opened her mouth towards the child and emitted a piercing scream. This was the first time Lumion had heard Sharon's voice. It is majestic. Eroded by the pallor during its journey, the sound reached Lumion's ears as a faint echo. Oxyto's child didn't see it that way. The feathers of its pale white, on its pale white wings, the half-chestnut brown hair, one by one, the eye on the face burst open, as if struck by a potent curse. Seeing this, LEMMiNO, fearless, once again transformed into a fiery spear of flame and hurled himself at the creature. Oxyto's child let a mournful foul. How do you think he's not losing control at all, Wiz? The fool's blessing, of course. Adam's reasonable development. Everknight's curtain. All three. Termibors is actually a friend. All four. Inevitability is actually Klein in another body who's also helping him. All five. Hear me out. I'm sorry. Okay, the first three I did mean. After that, it got away from me. It got away from me, honestly. I just start rambling after a certain point. Though distant and further muted by the dense pallor of the Death's Palace, the sound was soft when it reached LEMMiNO, yet made him feel dizzy for a few seconds. With this howl, the child morphed into a writhing, twisted white bud. The exploded eyeballs, flesh, and fallen feathers were all absorbed into the bud. In a blink, the bud blossomed, sopping wet, producing two children. One intertwined with the pitch black and dark red, its sores festering until it stilled, turning pale and falling to the ground. The other unscathed. Through this transformation, the child shed the curse and was reborn. But Sharon seized the instant, her figure reflected within its cluster of eyes. The child froze midair just a few dozen meters from the main hall where Gregarious' corpse lay. In its 12 gleaming eyes, the figure of Sharon flickered in and out of view. Suddenly illuminated by a bright white light, a flamboyant spear shot forth. As the light dispersed, LEMMiNO, single-handedly wielding the Sword of Courage, appeared. Hold on. This is what I'm thinking he's looking like right now. Hold on. Let me cook. Imagine he just shows up like this. Where is it? Bro, why is this loading in 1080p? No. Bro, I would wish this would load in 1080p. It's like fucking 360p at best. What the fuck is this? Imagine this is what I'm seeing. It's like, I am here. And with the rusted out blade that it's doing, it's not even that bad. Honestly, it's kind of similar. And Dante is also dumb as a bag of bricks, so that would make sense too. He's not actually that dumb, but you know. He did not hesitate or feel fear, despite the dizziness and pain in his head. His eyes turned iron black. This shade emerged only to be eroded by the pallor. This did not impede LEMMiNO's observation of the target's weakness. Compelled, LEMMiNO relied on his hunter instincts to sense weakness. Once again, he became the increasingly pale, dimming fiery spear of flame, positioning above Oxyto's child. His figure outlined, grasping the Sword of Courage, blazing with flames, and plummeted like a boulder. As they drew closer, LEMMiNO struck the child, using Cull. Before this, Merrick appeared at the top of the tower, slipping on a ring carved in the shape of a sun god's bird. You gotta fix your mic echo when you're... What the... Hold on. Oh, motherfucker. Okay, I fixed it. It should be fine now. Sorry. In his eyes, he quickly formed a lance as pure as sunlight. This caused the nearby pallor to fade, erasing shadows and causing the wraith-like state of Merrick to melt inch by inch. Droplets of dim liquid felt like wax in a fire. The droplets evaporated quickly, leaving behind a bit of dust, enduring the melting of the right side. Merrick's expression twisted into one of madness as he hurled this lance of sunlight. Considering the Oxyto was a shaman king of the moon pathway, the Temperance faction had prepared a sun pathway sealed artifact in advance. This sealed artifact, both in effect and trait, would bring harm to wraiths. The clean, bright spear became an anomaly in this pale world. It too was being eroded, but was also dispelling the pallor, appearing to be able to strike the body of the child before LEMMiNO could. Although the child was possessed by a demigod and forcibly controlled, it wasn't turned into a statue. It struggled against the influence of the wraith in its reborn body, seemingly returning to an embryonic state, seeking the comfort of its mother's embrace, while unleashing its own paramita. The pale white wilderness quickly engulfed the area and the tower, drawing the bodies of a few blessed of death who had died. In the deathly silence, a horrific giant snake, bearing only bones and some rotting flesh, with exaggerated wings, sprung up from the palace, blocking the path of Merrick's spear. Isn't that the ancient death? Because aren't they like some weird snake bullshit? Like, wasn't there some like a weird snake bullshit too with him? When we saw like Isaac choose to lose his memories or whatever? The blinding sunlight burst forth, filling Lumin's eyes. The sunlight blackened his pale, dim skin. What the fuck was that? Like, is that a part of the pathway? Or are you telling me there's some weird snake monsters? Like how Evernight is like a demonic wolf. He's like a demonic snake or some shit. The sunlight blackened his strike with the sort of courage it did not slow. The sunlight blackened his pale, dim skin. A soft clang resounded as Lumin's sword of courage struck in the head of the giant winged snake, splitting the target, which had become exceptionally fragile after absorbing the sunlight. In a barely audible silence, the snake's bones were either evaporated or shattered. Yeah, that's not ancient. That's not death. Never mind. With the help of the giant boned snake blocking a strike for him, Moxito's child, controlled by Sharon, contracted even more fiercely. Death pathway. Gods can change their pathway's mythical form? Ah, cool. I did not know that. Thank you. In its pale white, half chestnut brown wings and bent limbs had emerged from the body, forming a sphere with only its head formed with a few merged infant heads still visible. Its paramita then encompassed the entire main hall of death and the corpse of Gregarious. This pale white Quetzalcoatl. I've heard that. Why have I heard that name before? Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl? I don't know. By the way, Kami, what's a good ending spot for today? Is it 79? Is it? The pale white the pale white light quickly engulfed the bird-clawed infant's paramita, rendering the wilderness dull and indistinguishable from the surroundings. Aztec feather. That's what it is. This paramita lost the feathers, distinguishing the interior from the exterior. As the bone serpent collapsed, Lumin fell straight down, landing amidst the broken walls and debris. With a forceful bend of his waist and a flip, he landed firmly, not relying on the spear to avoid damage from the fall. In this nation, even the rules of the world seemed corrupted. Falling 50 meters felt no different from falling 5. At this moment, the child of Oxito retracted its head into a pale white sphere, forcing Sharon to detach. In the area near the main hall of death, 5 or 6 terrifying undead creatures, influenced by the paramita, rose to their feet shakily. 77? 83 might be a bit rough, but maybe we can manage it, who knows. Among them were 2 serpents with feathered wings and hairy corpses, a bloated giant, a rotting giant, a humanoid mountain of white bones, bug, and a woman with hair like snakes, each risen dead, summoned by the infant. As exerted immense pressure on Merrick. As a sequence 5, he knew he couldn't control these corpses. Attempting to awaken them would only result in his own dismemberment. The undead, immense and horrifying, locked onto the Temperance faction demigod Sharon, but their movements were sluggish. Sharon too could control corpses and command the dead. She was a true demigod with a higher rank than the infant. Sharon's divided focus to influence the Blessed of Death gave Oxito's child a chance for rebirth. The flesh sphere bloomed like a flower, revealing a baby cleansed by pure water, and the sphere itself withered rapidly. Just as the baby spread its wings, Sharon abandoned her control over the corpses. I'm understanding anything, but this guy is saying in my volume. of book 1. Anya, I appreciate you being here, bro, but we are... Listen, I'm a little bit ahead of you, and by a little bit, I mean like 1,000 chapters, okay? So I appreciate you being here. I really do. If you have any, if you want to talk Lord of the Mysteries, we're happy to. Just join the Discord, link in the description. We're happy to talk, but I don't want you to spend too much time here, bro. You're gonna get spoiled as fuck. Wait, Azek's name is just Aztec without the T? Coincidence? I think not. No, it's a I, buddy. In her pale white eyes, the infant was reflected. She opened her mouth and let out a scream that seemed to come from the depths of her soul. The giant baby froze, transforming into a lamb covered in pale fur. Unable to fly or use any abilities, it plummeted to the ground to LEMMiNO, who stood with a sort of courage. Without the child's support, the pyramid began to collapse, and the risen dead lost the foundation of their existence, toppling over. The lamb, covered in pale white fur, seemed to be corrupted from within as it fell. Its skin split, sprouting half pale, half chestnut feathers. No creature could escape the fate of being corrupted and nurturing a new life, not even a lamb. This was a trait of the Madame pathway, and the Transfiguration curse could not strip the corresponding beyonders of these traits. Sharon never expected to resolve the child with just a curse. Seizing the opportunity, she let her pale white figure reflect in the lamb's eyes. The lamb's swelling began to slow, and the mutation caused by the corruption became less rapid. It continued to plummet. LEMMiNO, standing there, looked up with a smile, raising the sword of courage. As the lamb entered his attack range, a pure spear of light shot out from the collapsed tower. Merrick, enduring significant pain and damage, once again projected the spear. This time, the infant, still in lamb form, could not evade or find a helper to block. It could only watch as the spear of sunlight pierced its abdomen and exploded. In an instant, the scorching white sunlight engulfed the target. Sharon used LEMMiNO's eyes and the pure gold in the nearby to run from the sunlit air blast. Although the lamb's body shielded her from direct harm, she, as a spirit-like beyonder, still took significant damage. When she reappeared in a golden pattern embedded in a wall hundreds of meters away, her figure had thinned noticeably, dripping like waxy liquid. LEMMiNO stood close to the pale white lamb, filled with courage, not dodging, standing firmly, welcoming the sunlight. Wearing the mask of the Eggers family, his entire body ignited, blackening and melting. Fortunately, he was not at the explosion's core, most of the damage falling on the bird infant, with Sharon taking some. Otherwise, the spear may have purified him. The sword of courage half absorbed the damage, making his injuries not as severe as they appeared. Clenching his teeth, LEMMiNO advanced instead of retreating, running to the falling bird infant, with the sword in hand. With a faint thud, the half-melted, pale lamb crashed onto the stones. LEMMiNO arrived just a second later, swinging the sword with both hands. Bright white and blue flames flared, the sharp sword striking the lamb's chest. The explosion wasn't loud, but the flames and the violent shockwaves lifted the surrounding rubble, tearing a jagged hole in the lamb's chest. Boom! LEMMiNO swung the sword twice. Boom! Splitting the bird infant lamb form into charred fragments. The pieces were immediately eroded, bringing a sense of dark. Bro, his potion's gotta be digested right here. He just basically killed a quasi-demigod. Talk about Reaper. Just as LEMMiNO was about to strike again, the abdomen exploded of the lamb, scattering flesh and liquid in a strange aura. LEMMiNO slashed the void with a sword, cutting through everything. Flames and shockwaves formed a solid wall, blocking the flesh and liquid. As the lamb's abdomen exploded, a pale, phantom figure with bird claws and wings flew out, heading straight for the blackbird egg. Oh my fucking god. This time, the infant, reduced to a phantom, was no longer as cautious. Marin could not throw the spear again, as it would severely damage him. Instead, he opened his arms, summoning a divine pillar of clean flames, aiming at the phantom. The bird-clawed infant first disappeared, then reappeared, evading the pillar, but was immediately locked by Sharon's eyes. Sharon transformed to a dim, stiff doll, encasing herself in ice. Reasonable development, true. Nah, that's not, I don't even know if I would call it that, bro. They have a literal demigod to beat a quasi one. I feel like that just happens. Simultaneously, layers of crystalline ice emerged around the bird infant, briefly fixing it in place. The infant raised its head, letting out a howl. The ice cage silently shattered, and the infant body, covered in pure clear water, splashed towards the corpse of the ancient death, forming droplets. These droplets, drawn by an unseen force, converged into a river, carrying the bird-clawed infant towards the black bird egg. Seeing this, Lumin instinctively wanted to avoid Gregarious' corpse. He leaned back, raised his arm, and hurled the Sword of Courage. Lock on. Rumble. The sky near the blackbird erupted with expanding white flames, forming a mushroom cloud. This dust turned pale before touching the ground. At that moment, Lumin heard an illusory shattering sound and felt his Reaper potion had fully digested. Oh, let's go! Okay, I guess we're going to Marora then, eh? Because we have to go to Marora to get the last 2 pieces and become a demigod. Oh, damn, that's gonna happen soon then. Because this motherfucker's not wasting time. He had no time to rejoice, as his mind and consciousness, protected by the golden mask, were overwhelmed. He lowered his head. Yeah, next quest has arrived. Demigod. He lowered his head, knelt to the ground, and hugged himself, trembling. He wanted only to obey the orders of Gregarious' corpse. As an undead, he lost his courage. Bro, this is what this is what that Admiral Hell Ludwell felt like when Azek showed up and was like, bitch, kneel. Lord of the Mysteries. Ayane, bro. I have been reading Lord of the Mysteries for a year and a half straight. Lord of the Mysteries and COI now, okay? You're on volume 5, you said. Just wait. You have no fucking concept of complex. Wait till you get to the... You know how we talk about, like, demigod is a qualitative change? Volume 5 to 6 is a qualitative change. Dealing with demigods and dealing with angels starts mind-fucking you. Okay, no spoilers, nothing. I'm not telling you what's going to happen, but just their breadth of powers breaks your mind. Wait until you see the fucking bullshit that I'm dealing with right now. You got no... Bro, I agree with you, but you're in for some peak, okay? Basic math to calculus, dude, yeah. In extreme fear, Lumin heard the sound of a heartbeat and flowing blood. It came from nearby. It resounded with Lumin. Silently, Lumin heard a cry. Child. My child. Who's your child? Who are you? My child, where are you? The cry continued. Amibella. Where are you? Who the fuck is Amibella's mom? Mother Goddess of Desire's Amibella's mom? Wow. Guys, we're getting into some freaky places now. What the fuck do you mean? The mournful cry seemed to draw closer. My child, Amibella, where are you? Lumin shuddered. Who's looking for Amibella? Why? As he wondered, Lilith stole Amibella's identity? You know this now? Yes, she did. Listen, I don't know where you are, so if you get asked pointed questions like that, I might end up spoiling you, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kami, that happens at the end of 5, no? With the god. With the... As he wondered, Lumin noticed the surrounding area growing darker with a sense of confinement. End of 6? End of 6? End of 6, you're right. Shit, motherfucker, you're right. He reached out, his hand brushing against a coal-hard wall. The wall was pitch black but semi-transparent. Lumin could faintly see the pale white sky. He also saw Sharon, the demigod, floating nearby. She extended her hand, summoning the Sword of Courage. Beyond Sharon, he looked at the ruins, a pale figure in tattered clothes kneeling over. The figure was trembling all over. Me? If I'm outside, then who is here? Already half conscious, LEMMiNO felt more bewildered. Almost simultaneously, he saw his outside self in charred skin peeling off, sprouting pale white, half chestnut feathers. His belly writhed visibly. Silently, Sharon leapt onto the mask and appeared before LEMMiNO, placing the sword of courage in his hand. The surge of courage dispelled the fear suppressing his mind. The sense of confinement and entrapment dissolved. He raised his head, no longer seeing himself. His gaze fell upon the black egg under Gregorius' corpse. He believed that he had just been inside the egg, observing the outside. No, it wasn't me inside the egg, but a part of me that lost courage and was subdued. So I saw this scene outside the shell, heard the cry for Ami Bella. Thinking this, yeah, I spoiled myself. I know many things about 6, 7, 8. Oh, Ayane. Man, that's... Dude. The reveals are the best part. I'm so sorry. Because Cuttlefish does them really well, man. That sucks. I'd still recommend reading it, but I can't imagine what it's going to be like already knowing that shit. So I saw the scenes outside the shell, heard the cries for Ami Bella, and showed signs of corruption. Thinking this, LEMMiNO looked down at his body, seeing the feathers fall off. They had all lost their color. LEMMiNO also saw his belly flattening, feeling his blood. Suddenly he understood why Oxyto risked so much to nurture a fetus. Even with just a bit of Ami Bella's bloodline suppressed by the ancient god's corpse, he could resonate and interact with the creature inside the egg. How much more could the infant with more of the Great Mother's gifts do? If we hadn't taken out the child in time, it may have used the resonance and integration to merge with the creature in the egg, controlling it. The premature birth meant the infant lacked the rank and traits, requiring extreme caution. Now the question is, why does the creature inside the egg hear Mother call for Ami Bella? Who exactly is Ami Bella's mother? Couldn't be the Great Mother, could it? How could she have given birth to Ami Bella inside the barrier? Ayana, it's never covered in, I still don't know a shit ton about it even now. What is the relationship between the creatures inside the black egg and Ami Bella? As these thoughts raced, LEMMiNO felt a cracking sound. In his astonishment, seeing the pale white flames on the egg distinguish and peel away, the egg itself developed a notable fissure. It seemed to be disintegrating. The next second, the entire pale white nation began to tremble. An aura began to come from the egg. Even with a sword of courage, LEMMiNO couldn't help but freeze. The surrounding palace and towers, whether in ruins or collapse, began to shake. A thought flashed through LEMMiNO's mind. Run! Gregorius is awakening! He shouted this in his mind, but couldn't move his body. Sharon grabbed him, and his eyes reflected the figure of Merrick, who looked much fainter than before. Cracks appeared in the pale white sky, extending towards the ground, an overwhelming sense of dread accumulating. Sharon, holding LEMMiNO, initiated spirit world traversal. This could be used in the underworld, but would trigger retribution. Indescribable limbs reached out from the void, grabbing at Sharon. Sharon endured the damage from these limbs and continued heading to the cathedral at the edge of the nation. Her body ignited with flames burning to her spirit, causing clumps of powder to fall. Sharon could no longer sustain any more than 3 seconds, interrupting the spirit world traverse and falling onto the wilderness. Nearly a kilometer from the cathedral, holding the sword of courage, LEMMiNO, now outside the Death's Palace complex, no longer is afraid, pointed at himself, indicating for Sharon to possess him. Simultaneously, he saw numerous jagged cracks spreading from behind, revealing bottomless darkness, spheres wrapped in blood-red substance. Isaac the goat will wake up again. We're not going to spoil you, Ayane, okay? The one thing we're not going to do is spoil you, okay? We're not. You want to find out? Great question. Read it yourself. When you read it, and then you have some questions, we're happy to answer you, okay? But we're not going to spoil you. That's not happening. We don't do that. We don't play those games. No. Feeling a chill within himself, Lumin quickly ignited in blazing flames, transforming into a spear. Above, below, and all sides, countless cracks chased him like glass behind him from the direction of the palace, as heavy sound emerged. Amidst the erosion, the spear disappeared and reappeared twice. Finally, Lumin escaped the nation, landing in front of the tower. Here, only the underground portion of the cathedral was visible. Lumin passed through the heavy wooden doors, once again transforming into a spear, and launched up. When the flames dispersed, he sheathed the Sword of Courage, climbing upwards and using the half-collapsed stairs, peeling walls and broken stairs, repeatedly jumping between them, sometimes leaping across supportless areas as a spear. Before long, the cathedral began to shake. The precarious corridors, stairs, walls, and pillars began to fall. Seeing himself about to be crushed, Lumin prepared to use the Sword of Courage to carve out a route. In this moment, he was surprised to find the stone and pillars above him seemed to have a life of their own, avoiding him. He guessed Sharon provided some help. Not wasting any time, he continued his ascent. After an unknown period of time, the shaking stopped. Lumin didn't relax, maintaining his pace until he saw the light above. A spear shot out from the dark hole within a half-collapsed church. You know, it's so funny, because something shot into Seer's mom's dark hole. Snipe, bitch. Get fucked. Okay, I saw that message. I just let it go at the time. With the flames dispersing, Lumin appeared, standing firmly on this cracked stone slab. Next to the broken wall embedded with several bone torches, a tall demon slowly turned his head. At that moment, Lumin realized he hadn't retrieved the egg, failing the commission. Instantly, anger surged within him. Was this a task I could complete? You were only sending me to my death? Truly a demon's commission? Fine, I'll fucking kill you. With these thoughts, Lumin reached into the traveler bag to draw the Sword of Courage. He was concerned about that the Ancient Death's corpse awakening would cause mutations to spread even here, preferring to leave the depths of the underworld as soon as possible. I just wanted to clear something. Rose Redemption worship Ancient Sun God of True Creator? Yeah, I don't think we can even tell him that yet, can we? That one I can answer, because I don't feel like that's too much of a spoiler. I feel like I can answer that, though. How hunched over, the demon staggered in front of Lumin. It stared at him and used knees. You've taken the egg for yourself. Before it finished speaking, the demon straightened out its body and swung the white bone leg at Lumin. Cunning. As the demon approached and stared at him, Lumin's hand was already gripping the Sword of Courage. When the leg came crashing down, he drew the sword, burning with a bright white and flame, and met the attack head-on. The clang echoed loudly, and Lumin's palm split open, spilling black and coagulated blood. The immense force from the goat-faced demon strike made him lose his grip on the Sword of Courage, sending him flying. The demon stepped over the fallen sword in 2 strides, standing before Lumin and raising the leg again. Suddenly, in its blood and pus-filled eyes, the figure of Sharon, the Temperance Faction demigod, appeared. It raised its hands and froze in midair. The demon's movement slowed down as if struggling against something. Wanna grip your Sword of Courage? Oh, get over here, Seer. Oh, you're making me blush, buddy. Whoa. Jesus, fuck. Sorry, that went back way faster than I expected it to. Seeing the demon movement slow down as if it was struggling against something, Lumin ignited his flames, transforming into a spear and darting at the high-ranking undead to where the Sword of Courage had fallen. Perhaps because the demon wasn't an undead created by the death pathway, its intimidating effects on Lumin was pretty weak. It lacked the ability to enslave him. While retrieving the sword, Lumin released the spirituality it accumulated. At the same time, his eyes turned pitch black. He quickly found who are the kings of angels. I just finished a chapter where Leonard was asking about it. I'm not going to tell you who are the kings of angels. I can explain to you what is a king of angel, and then you can make your own guesses. Okay? To be a king of angels, you can be one of 2 things. Okay? You can either have 2 sequence 1 characteristics, or you can have a sequence 1 characteristic and a uniqueness of a pathway, or you can have like anything more than that. Okay, any of those will count as a King of Angels. He quickly found a patch of pallor, taking 2 steps towards the demon, and leapt high. In midair, LEMMiNO adjusted his posture, gripping the sword with both hands and descending down. This time, he used the Sword of Courage's call ability. His spirituality surged into the broadsword, causing the white flames to flare up. With a thud, LEMMiNO landed on the demon's back, stabbing the Sword of Courage into the junction of its neck and body. As the pus splattered, the flames of the sword poured into the demon's body. A muffled explosion echoed, and Sharon quickly withdrew from the demon's body. The demon disintegrated into a puddle of sticky black liquid. The liquid, scattered by the expanding flames and shockwaves, swiftly flowed into the dark hole leading to the Pale White Nation. Holding the Sword of Courage, LEMMiNO felt his released spirituality deplete by 2/3. He wanted to chase and fight, but felt his body stiffen. "Retrieve your target first," Merrick spoke. "Right. I don't fear the demon. I can totally grab the abscessed hand's body before it reassembles." He transformed. What does a uniqueness of the pathway mean? So, okay, no, listen. Honestly, I don't want to fault him for it, because a uniqueness is weird, okay? It doesn't really make any sense. Even I don't fully understand it. A uniqueness is basically just, think of it like, the way I think of it is like, is an amalgamated thing that represents the whole pathway as a whole. Something that is uniquely that pathway's. It can be an item, it can be sort of like a characteristic, it can be something else. It's kind of a weird thing. It's a foundation of a pathway is a good thing. Yeah, I thought of it like amalgamation, but maybe foundation is better. Each pathway only has 1. A uniqueness is unique. You know what? Not everyone always used to give me that exact definition when I was reading Lord of the Mysteries, and I fucking hated that definition. Oh my god, it made me cringe so hard. Like, you're giving me a circular definition. Like, what I said was it's an amalgamation of the pathway. If he doesn't understand that, he can search up what amalgamation means and then get a better idea. You just described uniqueness with the word unique. Wow, gee fucking whiz. Why didn't I... Oh, wait, what's an apple? Oh, an apple? It's like... an apple. Fucking gee whiz. Didn't think of that. Genius. He transformed to a burning spear, darting to the bone torches to move the abscessed hand's body. He stowed the Sword of Courage in the traveler bag. Moments later, LEMMiNO felt a pang of fear. I only have 1/3 of my spirituality left, yet I was thinking of a life-or-death fight with a demon? And Sharon's in bad condition too. God, I'm a fucking idiot. Thankfully, Merrick acted as a valve for my courage. Without hesitation, LEMMiNO grasped the body, trying to lift it. It was heavy, like metal. And fortunately, LEMMiNO was now a sequence 5, from a pathway known for their strength. Everyone knows what a... Bug, that is such a good pull. That is such a good pull, dude. During the process, LEMMiNO worried that the body may suddenly reanimate and deliver a fatal blow. However, the abscessed hand's half-body, after enduring years of cutting by the demon, seemed lifeless. LEMMiNO placed half the corpse into the bag, relieved to see it sink. The flesh couldn't be stored inside the traveler bag, and the abscessed hand's body had now shown self-healing traits. LEMMiNO had thought if he couldn't store it, he'd have to carry it, or Sharon or Merrick would have to possess it. I think I may have been too harsh on you. Oh, what? You didn't think I would... Can I finish COI just after starting INA? You can. I would recommend to give yourself a bit of time, just to... I don't know, just to digest everything. And secondly, just give yourself a bit of time off, because you want to go into COI like being like, I'm so excited to read it, not like okay, let's just start this. You want to be like, no, like I really want to know what happens now. And I promise, if you haven't been spoiled on the ending of Lord of the Mysteries, when you finish the book, you're gonna go, holy fuck, I want to read COI right now. Just be like, no. I'm gonna wait. So then 2 weeks when I start this bitch, I'm so fucking excited. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to read it. Okay? Give yourself a bit of a break. I promise. You can start right after them. You absolutely can. With the body stored, Lumin heard creaking sounds from the hole. He immediately transformed into a spear, darting out from the cathedral. With a swoosh, the white flames left a burning trail. Without the nation's erosion, Lumin flew quite far. Under the humanoid lamplights, he repeatedly transformed into a spear, reaching the shadowy river yet again. He saw the tattered boat reappear with the boatsman. Lumin waited anxiously. According to Merrick, flying onto the boat as a spear would make him sink into the river's depths. Behind him, the pale green flames burned quietly, sometimes swaying with the ground's tremors. Are you going to... Lumin tensed, feeling an increased danger, unsure if it was from Death's corpse reawakening or the demon's pursuit. As he looked at the slow-moving boat, using Hunter's methods to calm his emotions. I thought that demon was powerful, Merrick spoke. Just below the ancient gods, holding a grudge against the devil monarch and desiring the egg. But now it seems it's just at a saint's level, with only a corpse lacking characteristic. The demon's initial request to kill the Farbauti was likely a bluff, making us more likely to accept the second one, thinking it reasonable. If Oxyto's child hadn't interfered, we might have even had a chance. It also used the request to kill Farbauti to build its image, making us think of it as truly formidable. What a cunning demon. Just then, Lumina remembered the accusation. You've taken the egg for yourself. When did I take the fucking egg? It's still there. I only resonated with the creature inside for but a moment. Did the demon mistake the resonance for me taking and breaking the egg? As an undead, even if it was a saint-level demon in life, it may have a little brain left. Finally, the boat reached the shore, and Lumin jumped aboard. Thinking the boatsman may attack, he compared to the demon's pursuit, thinking it was rather friendly. This was pretty manageable. The boat shook as it left the shore, heading to the middle of the river. Lumin looked back at the underworld, seeing the intense darkness calm down. Everything was serene. How long? Like, I assume you're asking how long? It was just shy of, I think, like 8 months, maybe 10 months, something like this. Bro, this man be resident. Bro, you know what? I'll say it. Lumion is the high school thought. Okay, this motherfucker be resonating. We all know what that means with everybody. Oh no, like this is so different. Okay, bro. This pathway is so different. I really feel a calling to it. Okay. Okay, brother. Only then did he ponder the issue of the egg. It seemed to be related to Amibella. From this, Lumin felt a great mother naming her child after the ancient god Amibella wasn't just for symbolic reasons, to erode the Earth Mother's authority. But Amibella wasn't one of the 8 ancient gods, just the giant king's queen, akin to an angel. How could her secrets affect the era? So much is unknown, with only a few high-ranking beings knowing. Lumin mused as he watched the dark land recede and only the river Styx filling his view. So he finally felt the matter had come to an end. This time, the boatsman didn't attack Lumin, instead rowing the boat to the opposite shore. He resonated with it. He now has like some aura of death or some shit to a way higher level. That's why the ferryman is not attacking him, because he's like, oh no, he's even greater than I. It's gonna think it's like Gregorius's child or some shit. They have 1,300 chapters of 2 bets. Bro, these people be crazy. This time, the boatsman didn't attack Lumion. Jumping out of the wasteland covered in blood flowers, Lumion, whose spirituality was nearly extinguished, ran towards the pile of bones and corpses. After running for a few minutes, he saw a faint starlight through the dim sky. Next, the void tore open. The tear blended with the starlight, forming a door. Standing there was Madame Magician, in a loose orange dress. She did not enter the underworld, but floated in a void outside the door, smiling at Lumion and the others. You've been at 771 for 2 hours? Okay, first of all, I've been streaming. I've been reading for like 30 minutes. How dare you? You gave me a heart attack. I was like, yo, have I been reading so slow today that I need to go to bed? Because, guys, tomorrow's going to be such a fucked day. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow. Because work's going to fucking suck tomorrow. SpaceX IPOs, so the entire market's going to be in fucking I don't know. The market's either going to be in fucking free fall or the entire... I think the market's probably going to be in fucking free fall. Everything's going to be down except for SpaceX. Except for SpaceX. It's going to suck the liquidity out of everything. What a fucking pain in the ass. I should have put some puts. Fuck. This time, the boatsman didn't attack Lumion, instead rowing the boat to the... I've read this 7 times, fuck off. Madam Magician, Lumion smiled. Lumion had expected another demigod of the Temperance faction, bringing a Beyonder of the Death Pathway to open the door. But it was a major arcana holder. She can find the underworld? She can tear through its barrier? Suppressing his curiosity, Lumion took a running start and jumped. He felt a wave of dizziness and his vision darkened as he saw the clear, pure lake. He reflexively removed the golden mask of the Eggers family to avoid becoming a true undead. During this, the figures of Sharon and Merrick appeared. Thank you, Merrick addressed. Sharon nodded silently. It's only right. It's a pity we couldn't catch Oxyto. The Great Mothers bestowed are truly vigilant and skilled at rebirth, making them extremely difficult to catch. After a few pleasantries, Merrick said his goodbyes. Before leaving, he and Sharon both nodded at Lumion, showing their approval. Aww, even... See, I knew he was a good egg. Sharon's a good judge of character. We know her. Although the Knight of Swords' request was only to find Oxyto, Lumion had far exceeded that by chasing the child into the underworld to eliminate it. In return, Sharon, despite being injured, helped Lumion control the demon, giving him a chance to defeat it and take the body. Thus, neither owed the other any favors or payment. Cataclysm happened in the... What? I'm not... No. Good try. Of course, establishing a friendship with the and deepening his connection with Merrick was an added bonus. After Sharon and Merrick left, Magician nodded at Lumion. Wondering how I found the underworld? For high-ranking members of the Apprentice Pathway, the underworld is just kind of there. There's no question of finding it. Even if hidden, we can locate it quite easily. I didn't summon the underworld, I just opened a door. Then why did you say I had to wait for an opportunity? Lumion asked. As an angel, couldn't you just open a door for me? Magician chuckled. Could you have retrieved part of the hand if I had sent you to the underworld back then? No. But not only would he fail, he would probably also instantly die. This time, with guidance from Sharon and the help of the Temperance faction, he had a chance to take the hand. Of course, the risks were still significant. Not all abilities can be repeated. Not using them and using them to change one's state directly is difficult. I sensed an opportunity and told you to wait. Lumion didn't dwell on it, recounting his experience in the underworld. What secrets are hidden in the body of the Second Epoch's goddess of harvest? Lumion asked. I don't know, Magician spoke. There are things I hadn't planned to tell you so early because it's not good for you, but since you have merged with Amibella's bloodline and experienced the underworld, I can share a bit. Do you remember the relic of Amibella I mentioned? Yes. Do you know where it is? It is in the New City of Silver. New City of Silver? A grade 0 artifact of the church is in the of the Church of the Fool in the City of Silver? First, you need to understand a piece of mystical knowledge. Marauders, the angels of the error pathway, can steal the identities and destinies of others. In other words, someone whose identity and destiny are stolen are no longer recognized by their parents, spouse, or children, gradually being rejected by faith. LEMMiNO called the substitution spell in the inevitability pathway. Seeing as he had no questions, Magician continued. According to what we know, I suspect the goddess of harvest had her identities and destiny stolen by a high-ranking member of the error pathway and was killed by her relatives. So we think Amon might have helped Lilith? That seems kind of crazy though. Up to this point, it sounded like nothing more than a horrific conspiracy, but think about it. Why would the body of the goddess of harvest, killed by her relatives and robbed of her identity, end up in a former city of silver, not silently in a battlefield corner? Oh, that's why her characteristic makes you kill your own family members. because she and her son had the same fucking loser mindset, even in their characteristics. Bro, oh my god, like mother like son, get fucking rolled, bro. 2 generations of gods rolled by those they trusted. Oh my god, bro. Cringe lords. And more strangely, the ancestors of the City of Silver knew it was Amibella and her identity. What's the City of Silver's records or speculation about this? Does Amibella's body contain characteristics? No. The City of Silver's records are sparse due to the ancient sun god's rule in the Third Epoch, but their ancestors mention that Amibella walked to the City of Silver on her own. Weird, right? You'll understand more when you can use that artifact. Now is not the time. By the way, what did that demon mean when he said that I had taken the egg for myself? The magician stared at Lumin for a moment. I don't see any changes, but I can't confirm temporarily whether it's the same for the egg. It'll need some observation. What is so special about this lake? The Temperance faction had a king of angels and angels ruling here for 1,000 years, but they couldn't uncover the lake's secrets. How the hell would I know? Even the direct descendants of the Eggers family don't quite know. From your trip, it seems like the lake's uniqueness predates even the Eggers family ancestor. Related to the ancient death Gregarious, Lumin thought? Perhaps. Magician responded. Madam Magician, now that we have part of the Abscissed Hand's body, I wish to go to Lenberg and find the City of Exiles, Marora. You are quite anxious and impatient. Relax. For a few days, calm yourself. Then you may go. We'll follow up on this matter. Your companions will investigate the Mirror People. You probably can't take your companions to the Marora anyway. Also, focus on learning languages. After dealing with the City of Exiles, prepare your team for the advancement. Yes, ma'am, Lumin agreed. Trier, Courtier de la Cathédrale Commemorative. Lumin reunited with Jenna, Franca, and Anthony. Recounting his experiences, Franca said, so that's what the underworld is like. The river Styx is real. You've fully digested your potion, and I'm still short on a sequence 6. In this digestion, Lumin credited 80% to Madame Sharon, 10% to Merrick, and only 10 to himself. Did he forget he called, like, fucking a group of 20 fucking mid-sequencers? Yeah, it was in a dream and whatever, but still. Without pride, he said to Franca, maybe I can help you digest pleasure quite quickly. I've accumulated a few fate fragments from Morin's lust outburst. If we find a Beyonder to take this fate, wouldn't it allow you to digest the pleasure potion? The pirate admirals at sea should be quite perfect for this. They should do another portal and go to the underworld? True. What's the point? It's just gonna allow undead to come out? What are you saying? What are you saying? Keep them on their side of the border? You're saying don't let them come in here just because the color of their skin is a little different? Wow, Kami, your Frenchman is showing, bro. Oh my god. The Zaratul Klein met in Foggy Town was a real Zaratul? Who knows? Who's Zaratul? I don't know that guy. That name doesn't sound familiar. Jesus, Kami. Franco was dumbfounded. Is that even possible? I've already digested so much of my potion thanks to Morin. Why not? Lumin smiled. It's like wanting a powerful target to experience pleasure but needing my help, right? Pleasure doesn't have to be one-on-one. Otherwise, Brown Sauron's orgies wouldn't make much sense now, would it? But Franca had to admit Lumin had a point, but it felt like exploiting a loophole. At the same time, Franca complained, have you been reading too many books or watching orgies? How could you talk about one-on-one so naturally? Also, borrowing your help is fine for some things, but this is weird. Under the watchful eyes of Anthony and the still somewhat puzzled Jenna, Lumin turned to Franca and said, let's imagine a scenario. Your experience— oh my fucking god. I'm not reading this. I don't care. I do not care. I'm not reading this. Kill yourself. In a video game, of course. Based on the experiences— What's the fundamental difference between the scenario I described and transferring Morin's fate fragment onto a pirate admiral, causing a lust outburst? Nothing, Franco was convinced. You really are good at exploding bugs, eh? What's a bug here? Jenna asked. Lumion, having heard this strange word from his sister, explained, exploiting a bug means like taking advantage of a loophole. Ah. You know, sometimes I think you'd be better suited for the error pathway. Then I'd probably be a Mon by now, Lumion laughed. Which pirate admiral should we target? Isn't this too dangerous? Each admiral has a fleet with many Beyonders and backing. We're just there to give him pleasure, not harm him. What's the worry? Lumen responded. Even if we can't kill him, so what? We've already offended plenty of foes. This will be a good test for our team, trust me. The few of us together are as good as any pirate admiral's crew. We can find opportunities for Jenna to digest her potion and for Anthony to digest his. Alright, Franco nodded. Let's gather some intel. Having that settled, Franco once again commented on Lumion's trip. That ended so quickly. I couldn't contact 007 last night to give him Jenna's messenger summoning method. I thought I'd return to Trier to complete the task. Who knew the whole mission would be over so quick? She had expected the mirror to last a few days, maybe even a week or two, but it was done by 1 in the morning. In St. Vieve Cathedral, Angolme, wearing a brown wool coat, stood at the door of the room, gazing up at the stairs. Yesterday, he and his colleagues were ordered to stay on night duty without being given a reason. Angolme could roughly guess based on the info he had. As time passed, a middle-aged man in a white robe and golden threads appeared. The man had black hair, brown eyes, and an authoritative presence. Angolme recognized him. This was Peacock, senior deacon of the Purifiers. Peacock? Ah, cringe. He was Angolme's direct supervisor, as he was in charge of the surrounding areas of Trier, essentially the entire Trier district, minus Sans Trier itself. He was not a demigod, but a sequence 4 of the lawyer pathway, an Earl of the Fallen. Seeing him, Angolme averted his gaze. He suspected that Peacock was a core member of April Fools outside the curly-haired Baboon Society, who had orchestrated the release of the artifact. Which pathway is the strongest? I would say it is the monster pathway. Angolme's reasoning was simple. The April Fool's member within the church had used a broker under-the-table transaction to get other purifiers to release 147. The lawyer pathway was similar to the broker pathway, adept at twisting terms. Fuck the monster pathway. Fuck you. This pathway's demigods had been involved in numerous shady transactions, making them the most likely to be in contact with a broker. Before Pearl was discovered, Peacock wasn't on the EBS Church's investigation list because 147 wasn't in his jurisdiction, and he hadn't left the Inquisition. Despite knowing the location and information of most Grade 1 artifacts, he wasn't suspected. Today he was at the cathedral for a meeting. The official reason was to discuss disrupting the Mirror People's plans and eliminating these rats. The demigods of the Trier district needed to meet face to face. After his figure in the white robe disappeared, Angolme exhaled slowly, becoming more vigilant. A minute or two later, Angolme felt the entire cathedral tremble. This lasted only a few seconds before stopping. The cardinal of the church and the Archbishop of Trier, Plessis, stood beside a woman in a white robe, beautiful yet sacred. Saint Vieve, Trier's guardian angel? Wait, Plessis, why is that a name I've heard before? Is that in my notes? Am I crazy? Why is that a name I know? Am I confusing the name with someone else? I don't see it in my notes. What the fuck? Opposite them, near the door, Peacock's body twisted, mostly melted, revealing an interior swimming with white wax. The deacon of the purifiers laughed. The overseer informed me immediately that she was compromised. I've been using this figure to act for days. His real body hid in the shadows, observing without interacting with anyone. Just as expected, Plessy sighed. This had been anticipated. The overseer's escape made this development inevitable. What, Kami, what is that? Chapter 504? Thank you. Okay, I'm not crazy. I did hear that name. Why did Lumion Lee choose the hunter pathway? I don't know. You'll have to find out. How do you even know who Lumion Lee is, bro? Oh my god. Just as expected, Plessy sighed. This had been anticipated. The Overseer's escape made this inevitable. Though the church had kept the Overseer's escape secret, they hadn't held much hope. The wax figure of the Earl of the Fallen quickly melted, looking at St. Vieb's impassive face as he laughed. I made the only right choice. The Crimson will come. Only by submitting to the great existences can we survive. The Crimson will come! After shouting, Peacock's figure completely melted. Saint Vieb, dressed in a white robe, made no other ornaments, watched silently as he said, "Who made this figure for him?" "Probably a broker," Plessy said. "Few beyonders can make such figures." "Yes, that is the lead to follow," Plessy nodded. A figure that could initially fool an angel's senses wasn't exactly easy. Finding its maker may lead to uncovering the broker. Inform all bishops, padres, and purifiers of Peacock's fall, but do not issue a wanted notice. Yes, Plessy agreed. A wanted notice for a demigod is quite useless and would damage the church's image. A few days later, Franca, Anthony, and the others used different channels to gather the latest sightings and rumored whereabouts of the admirals. Bro, this entire church is all the 7 major churches minus maybe the Evernight Church. We don't really know what's going on in there at the moment. Is fucked. Maybe also, I'll say it. The tyrant. Listen, the one thing you do not have in a tyranny is dissidence. Why? You have a thought like that? What? There's no dissidents in North Korea, bro. Oh, I'm sorry. Your house is burning down? Fuck your children. Grab the portrait of the fucking supreme leader first. Oh, I'm sorry. You saved your child instead of the portrait of the fucking supreme leader? Dead. Oh, I'm sorry. Special house inspection. Oh, the portrait of the supreme leader has 7 specks of dust? Jail. Looking at the information, Franca patted the top sheet and said to Lumion, "How about this one?" They glanced at the name. Admiral Deep Sea Constantine. Okay. I think we call it there, guys. I know it was only like an hour and a half short stream today, but I think we call it there. I'm not really in the mood to keep going for fucking 5 more chapters. Alright, that's it, guys. We'll stop there, okay? Next chapters or whatever. Nice, okay. That's it. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, guys. Maybe. I don't know what tomorrow looks like. I'll let you know. That's it. Bye, guys.